One massive plot hole for me in Avatar is I'm not entirely sure if Azulon knows the laws of succession, which is odd because he himself was a monarch and probably the longest reigning monarch in probably a long time in Fire Nation history. But my question is, why does he make the decisions that he makes when it comes to succession? Because if you remember, Ozai attempts to overstep Iroh by claiming himself to be the heir. After his colossal failure at the siege of Ba Sing Se and the death of his son, Ozai's argument is, hey, Iroh no longer has an heir, so his line is over. And with that, I should be the one next up to be Fire Lord. But Azulon, of course, is mortified that Ozai would even conceptualize an idea like that, and because of which he wants Ozai to understand and empathize the pain of losing a firstborn son. And with that, he orders the death of Zuko, which is absolutely just stupid. Like actual monarchies, the Fire Lord title is a male preferred title. The thing is, if you're Zulon and your heir just lost his firstborn son, why would you tell your second son to kill his firstborn son? Doesn't really make sense. At this point, given the succession laws, which is male preferred, Zuko really is the best choice that he has. Kind of like the only choice that he has. And given how Azulon kind of treated Azula, I don't really think he ever really preferred her. He didn't really seem to care. And I'm not entirely sure if the previous generations of Fire Lords ever were female, but typically with these feudal systems, even if you do get a female to become the heir, there's a lot of realm instability because a lot of nobles just don't like that because of sexism. So even if by de facto wise Azula was the better option, she's tactically and strategically sound, she's smarter and also the better bender, I'm not entirely sure if Azulon would be willing to place her in that role. Also, just as a side note, another thing that also makes it worse is when you consider how Zuko and Azula even came to exist in the first place. Because he was the one that set up the marriage between Ozai and Ursa because she's the granddaughter of Avatar Roku. And the reason why he does this is because he wants a stronger firebending line, which would have made sense for Ozai if he already at that point was the heir, but he wasn't. And Iroh, at this point in history, gave Azulon no reason to think that he should not be heir or if he wasn't qualified or fit for it. So just given their history and even how the title was created, the strongest benders were through the main line. It's their main justification for authority. So just giving it to your second son just sounds like a civil war down the line. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking, what he was doing. Maybe it was better that he went away because I don't know, there's a lot of things that he does that just don't really make too much sense, especially when you give in consideration the war, but I don't know.